Welcome, everyone, to Complete Aviation Solutions Deep Dive, number 91. Great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
So today, we're diving into some really interesting recent developments in the aviation world.
Yeah, quite a bit happening.
We've pulled together material covering strategic moves, mainly across Asia-Pacific and Europe. And our mission basically is to guide you through the most important bits.
Unpack the key updates, yeah.
Exactly. We're talking new routes, airlines teaming up, some big operational steps. The idea is to give you a sharp, clear picture of the current movements,
It's a busy landscape right now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this. Looking across these reports, Asia Pacific, Europe, what immediately jumps out at you?
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, isn't just that things are happening, but the strategic thinking behind it all.
Yeah.
The material points to really clear signals of growth and, deliberate positioning across several key regions.
Positioning, yeah.
We're seeing new airlines moving forward, existing carriers forging much closer ties, and real expansions in network connectivity, new routes, more flights. It really paints a picture of airlines being proactive, not just reacting, but strategically going after future opportunities.
Absolutely. And speaking of new ventures, the material kicks off with some notable news about a new player making strides in Malaysia. Tell us about Ascend Airways Malaysia.
Right. Ascend Airways Malaysia is certainly one to watch based on these reports. They seem to be making pretty solid progress in the whole regulatory process.
Okay.
They're currently advancing through phase 3 of their Air Operator Certificate, the AOC application, with the Malaysian authorities, CA.
Phase 3, that's significant.
It is, and this comes after a key earlier step, getting their Conditional Air Service Permit, this CASP, from MACOM back in 2024. So yeah, getting to phase 3 is a serious milestone. It means things are getting real for them.
So they've cleared some initial hurdles and are now deep in the operational checks, the safety stuff.
Pretty much, that's what phase 3 typically involves.
And what's the reported timeline for them to actually, start flying?
The material we have indicates their target is to launch initial operations, focusing on cargo, in November 2025.
Cargo first.
Cargo first, yeah. The plan seems to be for passenger flights to follow after that. They're aiming for full flight operations to be well underway by late 2025 or early 2026. Prioritizing cargo. It's an interesting strategic choice for a new operator. Probably reflects specific market opportunities they see right now.
Cargo first. That definitely stands out. And how are they reportedly building the fleet they need for this launch?
Well, the documentation outlines their plan for bringing in aircraft. Their first plane, a Boeing 737-800 freighter, is apparently scheduled to arrive in Malaysia in Q3 2025.
Okay, so later this year.
Right. And that specific aircraft is meant to help with those final AOC processes and get the cargo flights launched on time. After that, they expect to bring in 2 more planes, passenger B737-800s, by the end of 2025 and into early 2026.
A phased approach then.
Exactly. A phased approach to building up their capacity.
Makes sense. And the motivation behind all this, the reports mention a quote from their CEO, General Singh Khera. What did he emphasize?
Yeah, he's quoted saying their mission is to support the growth of local and regional airlines and that they aim to become a trusted ACMI partner.
ACMI, right. Aircraft, crew, maintenance, insurance.
Exactly. For listeners, that's basically a lease type where the provider gives the airline the aircraft and the crew, handles maintenance, provides insurance. It gives airlines flexibility, without the full cost and operational headaches of owning planes or doing full wet leases.
So they're providing a service to other airlines, essentially.
That's the model.
Yeah.
The CEO specifically pointed to rising demand for passenger and cargo operations in the Asia-Pacific region as a key driver, and he expressed gratitude for the support from Malaysian authorities, too.
ACMI. That really provides a crucial context here. This isn't just, another airline popping up. It's a player focused on providing this specialized wet leasing type service. And the material also connects Ascend Airways Malaysia to a much larger entity, doesn't it?
Precisely. They are part of Aviation Solutions Group, and the reports describe that group as the world's largest ACMI provider.
The largest, wow.
That's what the material states. So this move in Malaysia, it's framed as a key part of the group's bigger, pretty aggressive expansion strategy across the whole Asia-Pacific region. Aviation Solutions Group already has an AOC in Indonesia, apparently.
Right.
And the reports say they're aiming to add 3 more AOCs in the region by the end of 2026.
3 more. Where?
Applications are already initiated not just in Malaysia, but also in Thailand and the Philippines.
Okay, so this is a really calculated strategic play by a global leader in ACMI.
It really seems so. It speaks volumes about the opportunities they see and the evolving operational models in aviation in Asia Pacific.
The fact they're already in phase 3 for the Malaysian AOC shows they're serious. It's a tangible step.
Absolutely. And focusing on cargo first probably allows for a quicker market entry into a specific, maybe high demand segment before they scale up passenger ops. Plus, being part of a group like Avia Solutions Group that provides a massive operational and financial foundation, you'd imagine.
Yeah, that's not insignificant.
So it's not just another new airline, it's a major global ACMI provider betting big on the future growth and sort of the operational needs of other airlines in Asia Pacific. It strongly signals the increasing importance of that ACMI model, as a flexible tool for expansion and managing capacity in this really dynamic region.
Okay, so from the emergence of new players like Ascend, let's shift gears a bit. Let's look at how established giants are strengthening their positions through strategic alliances.
Right, partnerships.
The reports we looked at highlight a couple of significant airline partnership developments. These kinds of ties, they're crucial for expanding global reach without, the huge cost of buying new planes or the complexity of running totally new routes yourself.
Exactly. They let airlines leverage each other's networks. It offers customers more destinations, hopefully smoother travel experiences, while the airlines optimize their own assets.
Makes sense. Let's start with the reported Memorandum of Understanding MOU between Emirates and Air China. This sounds like it's building on an existing relationship.
It is, yeah. The MOSU signals a move to significantly expand their current reciprocal interline cooperation. The partnership between these two actually goes way back. 26 years, apparently, started in July 1999.
Wow, that's a long time in this industry.
It really is. And the documentation points out the scale of their current cooperation, too. Since 2018 alone, something like 18,000 Emirates customers have already benefited from the connectivity offered through that initial interline agreement.
And Emirates has clearly been focusing more on China lately anyway, haven't they?
They have. The reports mention Emirates recently announced launches into 2 new Chinese cities, Shenzhen and Hangzhou.
Right, strengthening their East Asia operations.
Exactly. And notably, the material highlights that the Shenzhen route will even feature Emirates' new premium economy cabin. That indicates how important they see that market.
Okay, so building on that long history and their recent network growth, what does this new MAU reportedly pave the way for? What's next?
Well, under this new strategic framework, they plan to explore a reciprocal code share agreement.
Ah, code sharing. So putting their flight numbers on each other's planes.
Basically, yes. Allowing them to place their codes on each other's flights on selected routes. That includes key China-UAE trunk routes and potentially points beyond Beijing and Dubai. But it's not just code sharing. The MOU also outlines exploring cooperation on cargo operations,
Interesting.
enhancing their frequent flyer programs for mutual benefit, and even looking at coordinating flight schedules.
Coordinating schedules.
Yeah, or maybe adjusting minimum connecting times to ensure more seamless connections for travelers across their combined networks.
Which, for travelers like you listening, that really translates into practical benefits, right?
Yes.
Simpler booking.
One ticket for the whole journey.
Potentially wider lounge access. The reports include quotes from both airlines emphasizing, deepening cooperation, expanding networks in China, UAE, and globally, promoting connectivity.
And they explicitly mention leveraging the Belt and Road Initiative opportunities.
Right. It's a clear signal both carriers see major strategic value in working closely here, tapping into those big travel and trade flows.
Definitely seems that way.
Okay, moving to another significant partnership mentioned in the material. Etihad Airways and the Taipei-based Starlink Airlines. They've signed a strategic code share agreement. How does this one link up their networks?
This is another really good example of using partnerships to expand reach. The code share here is designed to position Abu Dhabi, Etihad's hub, as a key gateway between East Asia and Europe.
Makes sense geographically.
For Etihad customers, it means seamless single-ticket connections to Japanese cities like Nagoya, Sapporo, Fukuoka, but via Taipei.
Connecting through Starlex's hub.
Exactly. And conversely, Star LUX passengers get streamlined access to Etihad's European network, places like Prague, Madrid, Barcelona, through Abu Dhabi.
And this whole partnership, it's basically enabled by a brand new route Etihad is launching, correct?
Precisely. The foundation for this code share is Etihad launching daily flights between Abu Dhabi and Taipei. That's set to start on September 7th, 2025.
Still a little way off, but pencils in the date.
Yeah. And they plan to use Boeing 787 Dreamliners for that route, which are good for long haul.
The reports detail the benefits for customers booking through Etihad's streamlined travel, single tickets, coordinated check-in, automatic baggage transfers, the usual good stuff.
Right. It simplifies the journey for connecting passengers significantly.
And it clearly positions Abu Dhabi as an attractive transit hub for Asian travelers heading to Europe.
That seems to be a key goal. The reports also mention future plans like joint marketing efforts in Taiwan. And they intend to launch a reciprocal frequent flyer program for loyalty members by the end of the year. Quotes from the reps highlighted new market opportunities, aligning on premium service standards, which both airlines emphasize,
Both are known for that, yeah.
leveraging Abu Dhabi as that crucial hub, and, importantly, laying the groundwork for potential future Starlink's expansion into Europe using this partnership.
Interesting. So it could be a stepping stone for StarLux too.
Potentially, yes.
If we connect these partnerships back to the bigger picture, they feel like more than just, drawing lines on a map. They're about creating strategic corridors, gaining competitive advantages, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. These strategic alliances are critical chess moves in the global aviation game. Code shares, especially, are just incredibly efficient ways to extend your reach, offer more destinations to your customers, without the massive cost and operational hassle of flying everywhere yourself. And these specific pairings, Emirates Air China, Etihad Star LUX, they clearly signal strategic moves by major carriers to capitalize on the huge growth potential in East Asian markets. And, importantly, enhance connectivity between those markets and the Middle East, and then on to Europe.
Creating smoother journeys on key global routes.
Exactly. And potentially opening up new cargo lanes, too, as that Emirates Air China Mo you hinted. It's all about sophisticated network building.
Okay, so moving now from these alliance strategies, the reports also detail airlines expanding their networks more directly, just adding entirely new routes or increasing frequencies on existing ones. This suggests confidence in specific market demands, right?
Yes, absolutely. Beyond the strategic partnerships, we're seeing tangible investments in capacity and direct connectivity highlighted in the material. Different carriers, different regions.
Let's start with Transnusa, their Bali-Perth route. This seems like a response to pretty significant demand.
It absolutely does. Transnusa is making a really substantial increase in frequency on this route. Quite impressive, actually.
What's the plan?
Well, they currently fly 7 times a week, daily. But the reports detail a rapid ramp-up in 2 phases. Starting July 2nd, Phase 1 bumps it up to 11 times a week. They're adding flights on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
Okay, nearly double.
But then, just 2 weeks later, starting July 18th, Phase 2 takes it up to 14 times a week, twice daily service.
Wow, twice daily. And they only launched this route back in March 2025.
That's right, launched March 20th. So going to twice daily just a few months later really demonstrates the strength of demand they must be seeing between Bali and Perth.
That's quite telling about that market strength. The reports also give operational details.
They do. They list the specific flight times, new and existing for both directions. They'll be using their Airbus A320s, configured with 174 seats. Flight time is about 3 hours, 40 minutes. The reports also mention Transnusa plans to enhance customer comfort as part of their goal of becoming a secure and caring brand and achieving premium service carrier status.
Okay. Shifting south now, across the Tasman Sea, Air New Zealand is reportedly adding a seasonal service.
That's right. Air New Zealand is introducing a seasonal Christchurch-Adelaide service. This creates a direct link between New Zealand's South Island and South Australia.
Good for tourism, I imagine.
Definitely targeting that. It's scheduled to operate from October 27th, 2025 through to March 27th, 2026. So covering that busy Southern Hemisphere summer travel period, frequency will be twice a week, Mondays and Fridays.
Okay.
They reckon about 15,000 seats will be available for the season, operated by a narrow-body Airbus jet. The move is described as strengthening trans-Tasman connectivity and, responding directly to demand for travel between Australia and the South Island.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, Air Astana from Kazakhstan is also mentioned as expanding its international reach with new routes.
Yes, the reports detail 2 distinct new routes for Air Astana. The first connects Atara, that's a key city in western Kazakhstan, to Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan.
Okay, a regional link.
Exactly. That route launched May 31st, 2025. It operates 3 times a week using Airbus A320s or A321s. Flight time's pretty short, about 1.5 hours. The second new route is a longer one. From Almaty, Kazakhstan's largest city, to Frankfurt in Germany. That started June 1st, 2025.
Almaty to Frankfurt, that's a major link.
It is. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. They're using an Airbus A321LR for that, with a flight time around 8 hours, 25 minutes.
And this Almaty-Frankfurt route is actually adding to their existing German network, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Air Astana already flies to Frankfurt from Astana, the capital, and also from Uralsk. The reports also mention an updated code-share agreement with Lufthansa specifically for this new Almaty-Frankfurt route.
Ah, linking up with Lufthansa.
Right, which should offer passengers better connectivity through their combined networks, connecting points in Kazakhstan with Germany and broader Europe.
Good strategic move there, too. Finally, Fly Dubai. Reports say they've been busy adding several new destinations to their European network.
They have indeed. FlyDubai is launching flights to 4 new European cities, significantly expanding their footprint there.
Where are they heading?
2 launches are in September 2025, Chiano in Moldova and Iaia in Romania. Then, in December 2025, they add Riga in Latvia and Vilnius in Lithuania.
Okay, Eastern Europe and the Baltics. This sounds like a strategic push into some new markets for them.
It very much is. These additions reportedly bring FlyDubai's European network to 35 destinations across 20 countries. That's pretty substantial. The reports highlight FlyDubai will be the first UAE carrier with direct flights between Dubai and Iaia, though they've served Bucharest and Romania since 2012.
Right.
And the routes to Riga and Vilnius mark their first direct entry into the Baltic region. The airline notes that adding these increases the number of underserved markets on their global network to over 100 destinations.
Underserved markets. That seems key to their strategy.
It does. It focuses on linking Dubai to cities that might not have direct wide-body service from other carriers, opening up new travel flows.
What's particularly striking about all these route additions and frequency increases, it's how they reflect such diverse strategies, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You've got capitalizing on strong leisure demand like Ballyturth, tapping into seasonal travel like Christchurch, Adelaide, strengthening business and regional links from Central Asia, and then opening up entirely new, previously underserved corridors into Europe with Fly Dubai.
Totally agree. Each of these moves tells a story about a specific market segment or strategic goal. Transnusa's rapid Bali-Perth expansion, clear indicator of robust leisure recovery. Air New Zealand's seasonal flight, targeting specific peak travel flows. Air Astana's moves, enhancing Kazakhstan's connectivity business, regional European links, and Fly Dubai entering Eastern Europe and the Baltics. That's classic hub-and-spoke strategy, right? Using Dubai to connect previously less accessible cities to a global network.
Opens up new possibilities.
Exactly. For people in those regions and for people wanting to travel there from Dubai and beyond, this collective activity just paints a vibrant picture of a dynamic, growing global air travel market. Airlines are actively carving out new niches and strengthening the ones they have.
So taking everything we've just discussed, the new airline venture, these strategic partnerships, all these route expansions, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Whether you're a frequent flyer, an industry watcher, or just someone interested in how the world connects.
Well, I think it means the global air travel map is constantly being redrawn, often in subtle ways, but they're impactful. For you, it really translates into more choices when you plan travel. Potentially smoother, maybe faster connections through these new partnerships, linking city pairs that weren't easy before.
Yeah, more options are always good.
And it signals significant growth in markets that are becoming increasingly important. Leisure, business, both. The developments with Ascend Airways also underscore that evolving landscape of how airlines operate, that increasing reliance on specialized services like ACMI for flexibility, for rapid deployment.
That behind-the-scenes stuff.
Right, which subtly but surely impacts the broader aviation ecosystem you interact with, from aircraft availability for passenger routes to the efficiency of global cargo. It highlights a market that's not just, recovering, but actively innovating in how it connects the world.
That brings us towards the end of this deep dive. We've seen new airlines like Ascend Airways Malaysia moving through key regulatory steps.
A new ACMI player emerging.
Major carriers like Emirates Air China and Etihad Star LUX strengthening ties through strategic partnerships and code shares, really aiming to expand global reach.
Leveraging each other's strengths.
And significant route and frequency expansions from carriers like Transnusa, Air New Zealand, Air Astana, and Fly Dubai across different regions, particularly highlighting growth and new connections within Asia-Pacific and into Europe.
Yeah, a lot of network adjustments and growth. And as we reflect on this pace of development, the constant forming of new alliances, this strategic expansion into untapped markets, adopting these flexible operational models like ACMI, it kind of raises an important question, doesn't it?
Which is?
How might these increasingly complex interconnections, these new ways of operating, how might they continue to reshape global air travel possibilities in the coming years? And perhaps more intriguingly, what entirely unexpected new routes or maybe new travel experiences might emerge next as a result of all this?
A truly thought-provoking question to consider as you watch the skies. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.